Alright, and then I would also like to show you some gameplay in a Rift. I opened one and I would like to go over the gear. I use what I got. I don't use the reduction, but this is really the best weapon I got so far. That's not really great, but it reduces resource costs, so that's fine. Boots from gambling with some armor, some arcane orb damage. I would prefer to exchange the vitality for resist all, but well, since this version has physical resistance, that's not possible. The mirror ball, but this can be exchanged with pretty much anything as long as you have the Pride's Fall. I rarely use my Glacial Spike anymore, just to control a monster, and the extra missiles don't matter all that much. Still nice to have. I have an old Stone of Jordan with gold damage, bracers with gold damage, an amulet with gold damage, and well, some more resource cost reduction and defensive stats. On this one I put 500 vitality. I would like to have armor here instead, but it already cost me a lot of gold to actually get a vitality on it, and I really don't think that switching it out now is gonna be of any use. On top of that, 500 is the max roll, so well, I don't want to switch that out. Some attack speed I would greatly prefer defensive stat, I think, but the attack speed isn't wrong, of course, just increases paper DPS, not so much actual damage output. But yeah. And then the same goes for all the others. I really enjoy playing tanky builds. As you can see, my toughness is almost 7 million, and that's actually enough to survive pretty easily in higher torment levels, although I only do them in groups. So let's clear this thing. Don't know what mobs are here, but it's, well, it does matter a little bit. And those are very annoying. See, these are mobs on which I can use the Glacial Spike to just stop them and slam some frozen orbs into their bodies. Don't really care too much about maintaining the shield, but it is convenient when it stays up. It's only truly important when you do prolonged encounters. And I like just slamming a black hole into that, just spamming some orbs until he dies. And as you can see, this encounter is now over, but by the time I move on to the next one, the shield has been recovered and I am fine again. See, I lost the shield pretty early on, but it has already recovered. So that's what makes this build pretty good. Unfortunately, the shield itself from Galvanizing Ward does not scale with anything, which is unfortunate. And the other shields just aren't all that good. Because you want this shield at the beginning of each combat, not in the middle. It's not really the purpose of the shield to add survivability as much as it is intended to give you the cost reduction. So having a shield that you gain by killing monsters or casting spells is just not going to be suitable for this purpose. Though it does help keeping it up, of course. But I have noticed that if I compromise on that to get higher damage in another way, for example exchange the blur but take another shield generator, then it doesn't really help at all. Because you reduce damage with one skill and then increase it with another, and the end result is mostly the same, except you have less survivability when the shield falls off. Go. See, and I move, and by the time I meet mobs, oh, my shield is back up. And I really enjoy the playstyle of this build because of that. Because it has survivability, it has a lot of control, it has very good, a very good way to deliver its damage. It's not really dependent on a lot. You are good against pretty much most types of mobs, except the mobs that charge, they take away the shield just a little too quickly. But this is how I prefer to play. So for some reason today I haven't had any legendaries drop yet. I've played 3 or 4 runs already and nothing has shown up. Not sure if that's just RNG. And the black hole is one of my favorite skills. It's just really great. And I use Glacial Spike a little more here, just try and freeze those things so they don't disappear. And again, I lost my shield for a moment, but it pops up really quickly again. See, Glacial Spike freezes it, and then the barrage of frozen orbs at the exact range can make short work of the mob in question. The fact that Mirror Ball is there, of course, helps out with the damage a bit. Mirror Ball should be not that hard to get if you really want it. Just gamble at the offhands until you have one. The offhands are only 5 shards apiece, I think, and there aren't that many legendary offhands. I think 5 or so. Most of them are actually pretty good anyway. And the fact that you can just spam frozen orbs at this rate just relaxes the gameplay a lot. You rarely want to use something to generate arcane power, and that will become better once I acquire a 3-piece Russia. If that ever happens. Freeze it. Just kill it. Lost the shield. You can see that's a problem, but there it is again, already back up. And I can just spam on. I don't pick up yellows anymore. I do pick up gems because I have used a lot. Get the stats I wanted on rings and nicks. So I'm kinda low on those. Especially Topaz and Ruby. Power pylon. I should save that for the boss, but I think we will run out of mobs on this level anyway before that happens. Yeah, 91%, and we are pretty much done here, so let's move on to the next and last level. Now, bosses are not great for this build, because, well, you can't really keep spamming there, and they do tend to run up to you, so it kinda depends on the boss. In multiplayer it's a little easier, but not much. Of course, the ideal would be a Pride's Fall with arcane power on crits, but I have not been fortunate enough to find that, and then if I get that, that should alleviate things even more. That should actually allow me to spam without ever stopping. But for now, this will have to do. There we go. Oh, pretty easy. Well, that's it. You should now kinda know what the build is capable of, and if you enjoy farming lower torment levels really quickly, then I think this is one of the most fun ways to do it. So, see you next time.